As an introvert, you have a superpower that can literally 10 times your productivity the span of days. Because in this video, I'll not just be talking about 7 productivity hacks for introverts, but this superpower that allows introverts to literally outwork everyone. And this is what made introverts such as Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos so successful. Because the first productivity hack I like to talk about is silence. See, as introverts, we get our energy from silence, from being alone in our own thoughts and energy. Yet in today's society, we are constantly surrounded by people, constantly surrounded by noise, by stimuluses that drain and exhaust our energy. And just we can't be productive, and it's so difficult to actually just focus. This is why I attempt to use simple hacks myself, such as working in the library and just using, for example, my noise canceling AirPods in order to cancel all the noise around me. What I also like to do is play calm and soothing music. This just helps cut out the noise, but also helps you get more immersed in your own thoughts. And this is what, as an introvert, you definitely need in order to be incredibly productive. Because a loud environment is not just annoying, it's distracting. And this also leads into our next productivity hack, which is minimizing your distractions. Because what's more distracting than outside stimuluses in the world is your phone. Your phone constantly blurring out notifications, social media, YouTube, all these different types of stuff. They're all distractions for you. And with these distractions, you won't be able to get in that deep flow state, that deep work state that I'll explain later in order to get your done. This is why social media is our greatest weakness. But because I've implemented these following steps, I've actually managed to lower my social media usage from 4 to 5 hours per day to just 1 to 2 hours per day. Here's exactly what I did. Firstly is I deleted all social media apps from my phone. Once you've deleted social media off your phone, there really isn't much reason to actually doom scroll on your phone because it's kind of boring without social media. Even if you're a content creator, you should still do this because you can just content create on your computer. And here's the next step. Install extensions that block the homepage of these social media platforms on your computer, thus you don't get tempted when you're working to scroll on YouTube or watch some Instagram reels. And one of the best ways in order to reduce social media temptations is something called Pomodoro, which is one of the best studying techniques out there, which is our third productivity hack. At times, I get so immersed in a singular task, I get burnt out. This is such a big issue that a lot of introverts find nowadays. Now, no matter if this is my own hobbies like video editing or even my schoolwork, sometimes I get burnt out and it's impossible to keep working productively throughout the entire day and just we get distracted when we go on our phones. But Pomodoro is simply working in small, different blocks of time, but taking breaks in between. Now, what I like to do is I work for 25 minutes at a time. And once those 25 minutes have run out, I take a 5-minute break. And then I repeat this constantly over and over again. I can keep working for hours and hours because not only am I being focused, but I'm constantly refreshing my brain with more energy by just taking a break. By using this method as an introvert myself, I've actually managed to boost my school grades from a low 80 to now the 90s. But this is really only possible if you are alone, which is the 4th productivity hack for introverts. Being alone. Now for extroverts, they love working in groups. They love working with other people where it's loud. But for introverts, that is detrimental to our focus and productivity. Imagine that as an introvert, you could constantly work non-stop without any distractions, without any people interrupting you. That's just a dream, but it is just impossible because you live with family members or you have friends or you're in a noisy environment. So there are some hacks that I personally use in order to maximize time alone while living in a household of other people. What I recommend you do is work during times where people aren't awake. Now, I'm an early bird, so I like to work early in the mornings. So I usually wake up from 5 to 6 a.m. on the weekends and just work. But if you're a night owl, go to work at night. You're more productive at night. See what works for you is what works for you. But what if you have multiple tasks to do? Well, simply I tell you to focus on just one task. See, productivity hack number 5 is just focusing on one singular task. A couple weeks ago, I had 4 tests. I had a math test and a business test on Tuesday. Then I had a kinesiology test on Wednesday. Finally, on Thursday, I had a chemistry test. However, I didn't focus on all 4 of these at the same time. During my study sessions, I would focus on a singular task at a time. For example, the week before I studied on math on one day. Then the next day I focused on chemistry, then on business, and etc. Simply by dividing these tasks and focusing on a singular task, you're able to enter what is called flow state, which is the 6th productivity hack for introverts. Flow state is a state where you are so immersed in a task that nothing can stop you. No distractions, no whatever. You are fully immersed in that task. It is when you are not too bored or the activity is not too difficult. Take professional athletes like Messi. When he's playing, when he's dribbling across those 10 defenders, he's in a constant flow state. This doesn't just apply to athletes, it can apply to everyone, not just physical activity. You see, everyone has access to this, but only introverts have the ability to access flow state on command. And this ties into the 7th productivity hack and the superpower that I mentioned the introduction of this video. And this is the ability to be alone for long periods of time. The 7th productivity hack for introverts to become incredibly successful. What separates an extrovert from an introvert is their dependence on external stimulus. Extrovert depends so heavily on external stimulus in order to get into that constant flow state. Extroverts sometimes need people around them in order to focus, but people aren't always available, so they are dependent. While introverts rather be independent. They choose when they want to work. Introverts are self-reliant, and because of this, billionaires like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they were able to work for countless hours at a time. And because they're so productive, they're so confident. And if you want to emulate that type of confidence, you should click on this video on the screen right now. Bye.